Grandma won't eat kid-made food, she scorned at dinner, snubbing my daughter. I silently recorded her. Now she's lost everything. The afternoon of a December day brought a brisk wind right into my flower shop. While I was just about done with the Christmas wreath, I peeked outside and saw snow softly beginning to fall, quietly signaling that winter had arrived in our peaceful Boston suburb. "Mom, look, snow," my daughter Emily dashed in from the shop's back area. She's 9 now and generally does her schoolwork here, but curiously she had a cookbook open in front of her today. "Emily, what book is that?" "Oh, I borrowed it from Martha. I'm practicing lasagna for Grandma's birthday." Grandma, actually my mother-in-law Patricia's birthday was coming up soon. I first met my mother-in-law Patricia during the Christmas season 10 years ago. It started when I did the landscaping for a building he designed. I was drawn to his easygoing personality, and we got married a year afterward. At the time, Patricia enthusiastically supported our marriage. "Rachel, I'm so happy to welcome you as my daughter," she said, giving me a warm hug, a memory I still recall clearly. When Emily was born, she visited the hospital nearly every day. However, things took a turn 5 years ago after her daughter Jennifer had a baby. "Jenny's baby looks just like me. She's inherited my refined taste," Patricia would constantly remark. Patricia runs a fancy boutique. Situated in a prime Newton location, she deals with wealthy, regular clients. She has a large social media following and is fixated on presenting her perfect image and daily life. Lately, I've noticed her boasting about having over 30,000 people following her on Instagram. I felt that she started being less affectionate towards us, the rest of the family. Instead of going to Emily's sports day, she went to Jennifer's kids' ballet performance. When it came to Christmas presents, Jennifer's child got expensive, designer toys, while Emily was given what felt like inexpensive, supermarket-bought stuffed animals. Birthday parties became exclusive events at expensive restaurants, with only Jennifer's family invited. Yet Emily maintained her optimistic and genuine personality. She enjoys cooking and frequently watches kids' cooking shows on YouTube. Lately, she's been getting some cooking lessons from Martha, our neighbor, a retired teacher who really connects with Emily. Martha, with her lovely silver hair, is a highly respected figure in our neighborhood. "Hey, Mom, do you think Grandma will like it?" Emily asked, her face serious, her pigtails swinging as she studied the cookbook. With her focused face, she really reminded me of a little chef. "I'm sure it will be a delicious dinner," I replied, even though I felt a wave of worry wash over me. Michael, my husband, is incredibly busy as an architect, and he finds it difficult to deal with his mother's behavior. He phoned to tell me he would be late again today. Despite looking worn out when he gets home, he must see his mother's changes but can't find the words to acknowledge it. Outside, the snow was beginning to pile up, which made the Christmas decorations seem even brighter. The church bells chimed through the calm afternoon. In the floral shop with poinsettia's fragrance filling the air, I observed Emily's focused face. I knew her big day was approaching, arriving tomorrow. My inner feelings were mixed. Part of me desperately wanted to believe everything would be fine, but deep down I had this persistent worry. The following morning, I discovered Emily was already in the kitchen. In the subdued light of the winter morning, only the kitchen light emitted a soft warmth. "Good morning, Emily." "Mom." I was awake early. I figured I would get started on the lasagna. Her little back, clad in an apron, presented an image of dependability. The ingredients meticulously prepped the previous day were laid out on the countertop. She appeared to know the recipe by heart, Martha's unique meat sauce recipe, the homemade bechamel, and how to layer everything. "Allow me to pitch in." Despite Emily's initial reluctance, I persuaded her to let me help, and we started working together. We chopped onions, fried the fragrant garlic, and before long the kitchen was permeated with the smell of tomatoes and herbs. "Emily, your knife skills have really improved." "Yes, Martha taught me. She says the secret is to cut the veggies the same size." The doorbell chimed. Martha had come. She carried homegrown herbs and handmade decorations. "Well, you've done an amazing job." "Emily, that's fantastic." Martha began setting the table, moving quickly. She put out a Christmas-themed tablecloth, arranged the candles, and added small origami decorations that Emily had crafted. "Grandma's chair is going here," Emily announced, gesturing to the head of the tablecloth, indicating the head of the table. "It's her special spot." The scent of lasagna baking started to spread throughout the house after midday. Martha and I completed the Caesar salad, and the cake, adorned with strawberries, was done too. Everything that we had made with so much love, Emily crafted it all herself. "It's perfect, Emily," Martha announced. "Patricia will definitely be touched." "Mom, could you read the message card again, please?" Emily asked. She gave me a message card, carefully written with colorful crayons. "Dear Grandma, I made a special dinner for you today. It's your favorite lasagna, made with love, Emily." Emily kept looking outside the window and checking to see what time it was. The snowfall had ceased, and the Christmas lights started to sparkle in the dimming light of the evening streets. "Emily, it's time to change." Emily put on her favorite light blue dress and made her hair look neat. She wore the silver pendant around her neck, a Christmas gift from Patricia, one of the few presents that was truly from the heart. Warm dishes sat on the set table and the candlelight danced. "Grandma will come, right?" I gave a firm nod, but I was growing increasingly worried deep down. Even after 5 o'clock, there was no sign of Patricia. Emily's face started to look sad. Martha quietly took out her phone. "Rachel, why don't you call her?" she suggested. With my hands shaking, I dialed Patricia's number. The call finally went through after several rings. "Oh, Rachel." I could hear the sounds of chatter and glasses clinking in the background. "Mother, Emily is waiting for you." "Oh, that's right. I'm having dinner at a Michelin restaurant with Jenny's child right now." I could hear Jean George's was here, that's for certain. Patricia's announcement sounded bright and happy, like it was the most ordinary thing in the world. "But I thought you, given your word." Emily put in such a tremendous effort. Oh my goodness, her shrill giggling made my ears ring. "I'm not going to consume food that was cooked by kids. If I had that kind of free time, I would rather spend it watching videos of Jenny's kids' ballet show." The sound of glasses bumping against each other grew louder. I could hear people speaking, more chuckling. Right next to me, Emily was watching intently, holding her breath. Her little hands were squeezing the bottom of her pale blue dress very tightly. "Well, I'm occupied, as of now." The phone call finished. The call cut off. The room fell completely quiet, just the little flames from the candles were flickering softly. "Mom." Emily's voice shook a little. "Grandma, isn't she going to come?" Big tears were running down Emily's face. The silver pendant on her necklace reflected those tears in a cold way. "Emily," pushing my arms away when I tried to hug her, Emily ran out of the dining area. I heard her little feet running up the stairs. After that, the distinct sound of a bedroom door slamming closed. Martha quietly put her hand on my shoulder. That evening, unable to fall asleep, I sat on the sofa in the living room. The fire in the fireplace burned down low, and outside the window, snow had started to fall again. The light in Emily's bedroom upstairs was still lit. I kept going over the recording that Martha had sent me. Patricia's cold, heartless laughter. Words that were making fun of a child's cooking. The noise of the glasses clicking. It was all just too unkind. Late at night, when Michael got home from work and he learned about what happened, he didn't say a word for a long period of time. "Mom is different now," he stated, his tone weary. My spouse, who normally looks so sharp in his suit, was now slumping and looking down. "We can't just stay quiet about this, Michael." It was early in the morning. Before anyone else was even up, I was at my computer. My hands were trembling, but I knew this was the right thing to do. I began by putting a post on the Newton Community Facebook group, explaining the whole situation and including the audio Martha had captured. "I want to share with you what a young girl, not even 10 years old, went through today." I also left a comment on Patricia's Instagram account, where she always boasts about her perfect life. All those posts about family and happiness are fake. Martha also shared the truth within the church group chat. This different side of Patricia, so far from the friendly person who treated the kids so nicely during Sunday service, was starting to get out, slowly but surely. During breakfast, Emily hardly said a word. I could only manage a soft smile while I sat next to her. I wasn't ready to tell her what was on the horizon. That same afternoon, the first repercussions showed up at Patricia's store. A regular customer canceled her order for an expensive bag. I refused to buy anything from a person who abuses kids. Patricia's Instagram account lost more than 1,000 followers, and angry comments started to flood her posts. People at the church began to distance themselves from Patricia. The Sunday school volunteers politely turned down her offers to help with church events, bringing up concerns about the safety of the kids. The next day, Jennifer came to visit my store. I was used to seeing Rachel looking polished and professional in her work attire, but today she was barefaced. I listened to the audio. It was her voice quivering. My goodness, when did she become so different? She was spoiling my child, but hurting Emily too. I should have realized what was happening, but perhaps I was blinded by having my mother's love all to myself. I let out a long breath. I had phoned my mother last night. Initially, she denied everything and became angry. Just then, the store door opened and Patricia walked in. Her normally flawless makeup and hair were a mess, and she was holding tightly to her expensive designer bag. "Rachel, you've wrecked my life." Her shout bounced around the shop. I responded softly but with conviction. "The hurt you've caused Emily will never be healed." "What do you mean? I'm a wonderful grandmother." On social media, everyone. Jennifer stood up and challenged Patricia. "Mother, face facts, you've changed." "Jenny, even you." Patricia's voice was shaky. Then we heard the sound of someone coming down the stairs. It was Emily. Having just gotten back from school, she looked at Patricia and slowly walked over. The necklace was no longer around her neck. "Grandma," Emily's tone was unexpectedly calm. "My cooking might not be that great, but I wanted you to try it." Patricia's face lost all its color. Her real face underneath the cosmetics became increasingly white. I. She began to say something, but turned and hurried out of the shop. The sound of desperate footsteps in high heels disappeared onto the chilly winter street. I noticed that Patricia's shop shut down early that night. Her online presence was gone, locked away, and it got around that she distanced herself from the church circles. Finally, Michael broke the silence. Mother phoned, blaming me, claiming I'd messed everything up. Outside, the snowfall continued its soft, steady descent. Snuggled close to the fireplace, Emily looked calm and peaceful as she slept, something I hadn't seen in ages. This isn't the final chapter, it's more like the very start. Another 7 days had gone by. Boston was completely consumed by Christmas fervor. My flower shop was doing well with lots of folks after poinsettias. But Patricia's shop in the town next door was still closed. Turns out Patricia Bennett's philanthropy was all a facade. A local newspaper reporter uncovered some really disturbing stuff. The donations Patricia made to orphanages, more than half were actually tax dodges. The more we dig into the ledgers, the more disturbing information surfaces, the reporter murmured to me in a low voice. There's proof she shared sensitive details about her rich clients online without their consent. At a hurriedly called church gathering at Martha's place, she disclosed some fresh details with a deep breath. The toys Patricia gave to the Christmas event, 5 years earlier, most were bargain basement stuff from her own store. Thinking about it, someone made a comment. Last year's fashion show at the senior center, all the clothes were just stuff from her shop that hadn't sold. As the revelations mounted, exposing more and more, Patricia's carefully constructed outward appearance fell apart, just like a sandcastle collapsing at the beach. Jennifer, a lawyer, came to my flower shop and the situation was serious. She told me managing to stay calm. Misuse of client data without permission could turn into a huge legal problem, she warned. Mom's going to lose everything. She kept on talking, gazing out at the wintry landscape beyond the glass. The shop is shut down. Most of her money will be lost due to the tax investigation. Right then, the door to the shop swung open and Michael walked in. He wasn't wearing his usual business attire. Instead, he was dressed informally. Even though he looked exhausted, there was a hint of ease in his expression. Mom has made up her mind to move into assisted living. We held our breath. It was her decision, Michael stated, letting himself slump down in a chair. She says she can't go back to how things were before. That night, we had to tell Emily the facts of the matter. Grandma is going far away. Tears filled her eyes. Yes. However, Grandma made this choice. I replied, pulling my daughter close in a hug. A few days later, I went over to help go through Patricia's possessions at her home. The closets, which had once been overflowing with expensive designer goods, were now completely bare. On the reception room shelves were the countless photo frames that she'd happily shared on social media. I discovered an old picture among them. It was from when Emily was just born, with Patricia cradling the newborn with such gentleness. The photo radiated a smile of pure joy. Back then, I understood what true happiness was. Turning around, I found Patricia standing there. I'm not adorned in designer labels, and I certainly don't have flawless cosmetics. I'm just a weary older woman. How did my life end up like this? My voice shook with emotion. As my online audience grew, I began to lose touch with who I really was. I fixated on projecting a flawless facade. Christmas songs floated in from outside. The reverent melodies from the church resonated in the still evening. Large tears streamed down Patricia's face that day. I disregarded that child's affection. Michael pulled out his father's special watch and set it down on the surface quietly. Mom, please keep this. Look at it sometimes when you're at the assisted living. Patricia grasped the watch, her hands unsteady. I guess I don't deserve a chance to make things right anymore. Nobody offered any response to her words. The following day, Patricia checked into the senior living place. It was a small place located on the edge of town. I could see Newton's skyline, where I had once been important, reduced to something tiny and far away from the windows. This is the finish that I chose. Patricia whispered sadly as the sun went down behind her. Nothing remained. There was no longer any sign of the woman I used to be who was so proud. That evening, Emily asked me in a quiet tone, Mom, can I go see Grandma? Why? Because, Emily responded, looking up at the starry sky beyond the window. I think Grandma must be lonely. Her innocent words brought tears to my eyes. However, it wasn't the right time just yet. Broken hearts need a lot of time to recover. Outside, the Christmas snow kept falling softly, silently, but completely, blanketing everything in white. A year has gone by. Boston is once again draped in its winter finery. Once again, this year, Christmas blossoms are brightening my flower shop. The pleasant fragrance of poinsettias mixes with the scent of fresh-baked bread from our recently added bakery area. Mom, the fresh bread is done, I called out. Emily showed off the bread with a beaming smile. She started a kids' baking class this year using her culinary abilities. We, with Martha's support, remodeled part of my flower shop, creating a little kitchen space. While these cinnamon rolls are mouth-watering, on weekends, kids from the neighborhood assemble. Emily patiently instructs them as their teacher. Her focused look when kneading dough makes her seem like a tiny pastry master. Emily truly has evolved into a fantastic educator. Martha observes with delight. She remains supportive of Emily. Last month, Emily took first place in the local children's cooking contest. The topic was appreciation for family. She created that day's lasagna. When the judges inquired, "Why did you opt for lasagna?" Emily responded, "This lasagna is full of important recollections. Occasionally there are sad memories, which make us stronger too." The photograph from the awards ceremony is still displayed in the shop. Emily, beaming with her prize, and Michael proudly grinning beside her, a visual representation of the start of our family's new beginning. Jennifer has also undergone a significant transformation. After the situation with her mother, she took up work as a lawyer, concentrating on safeguarding children's rights. Occasionally, she brings the kids to Emily's baking lessons, and they talk like they're best friends. When they're in the kitchen with Emily, Jennifer always remarks how the children's eyes light up. I've come to understand how silly it is to chase after surface-level perfection, similar to what our mother and Patricia used to do. Patricia's life at the assisted living place is still going on quietly. Gone are the pride and social media fixation. Now she's just a solitary older woman spending her days. Sometimes we find her sitting beside the window in the building. Word is that she always keeps Michael's father's old watch close by. The clock's ticking reminds her of opportunities she missed. A person who works at the facility shared with us that, especially when evening comes, she spends a lot of time looking out the window. Not long ago, Emily penned a note. "Dear Grandma, I'm now a cooking instructor. I'm showing kids how crucial it is to cook with care. One day, I wish I can whip up lasagna again." Of Emily, I haven't sent that letter yet. Maybe Emily needs a bit more love and care to fully mend her heart, but I feel like something new is definitely taking root in her. Fixing a broken heart is a lot like making bread. Just as dough needs time to sit and the oven's heat to develop a deeper taste, Emily appears to be grasping this concept through her own experiences. During the church Christmas celebration this year, the kids from Emily's baking class will be selling baked goods once again. The money earned will be given to local groups that help kids. "Mom," Emily commented as she was putting ornaments on the Christmas tree, "someday I'm envisioning owning a store with a huge cooking space that could accommodate everyone." The snow outside is falling softly, just like it did again this year. However, in contrast to last year, it felt like this snow was destined to stick around. It felt like it showed a fresh start. Indeed, Emily, that aspiration will definitely become a reality. I recall what Martha used to say. You can't quantify true happiness with flawless looks or statistics. It's found in a heart that's willing to work hard for someone else's well-being. Our fresh chapter has just commenced. Much like every snowflake, even though they're gone, are each unique, no life journey is exactly the same. Only authentic affection can lovingly embrace everything. "Mom, this snow is so pretty." I softly nodded as I gazed at Emily's face. A bright future seemed to be reflected in her smile. It was the start of a fresh journey, formed by the closeness of a real family.